Another something to ponder. You might as well. You're not doing anything right now anyway. Let's take another quick look into what James has in his head now.
Another something to ponder. The Words and Thoughts of James McClure, narrated by artificial intelligence.
Do godless people have values? Do secular people have morals? Yes. Not only do they have them, but in many cases they express them more consistently than their religious counterparts. This challenges one of the most persistent stereotypes about atheists, that without belief in God, there is no foundation for morality. The assumption is simple. If there is no divine authority rewarding and punishing behavior, then there is no reason to be good. But rather than approaching this as an abstract philosophical question, it is more useful to look at how people actually behave. What do the patterns show? Consider the broader world. In ongoing conflicts, such as those in the Middle East, the most intense violence is often driven by those with the strongest religious convictions on both sides. Each group believes that God is on their side. Each group justifies its actions through that belief. And yet, within those same populations, it is often the more secular individuals who advocate for restraint, negotiation, and humane resolution. That observation alone does not settle the issue, but it points us in a direction. So instead of focusing on isolated examples of moral individuals, it is better to examine large-scale patterns. Across a wide range of social issues, the data shows a consistent trend. On racism, secular individuals are less likely to hold ethnocentric or prejudiced views. On gender equality, they are more supportive of equal rights and opportunities. On climate change, they are more likely to accept scientific evidence and support collective action. On LGBTQ rights, they are more accepting and supportive. On the death penalty, they are more likely to oppose it. On immigration and refugees, they tend to favor more compassionate policies. On women's bodily autonomy, they are more supportive of individual choice. On corporal punishment, they are less likely to endorse it. On gun policy, they tend to favor measures aimed at reducing harm. Even on animal welfare, the same pattern holds. Issue after issue, the trend is consistent. The averages are clear. The correlations are clear. This does not mean that every secular person is moral or that every religious person is not. There are moral exemplars and moral failures on both sides. But when we step back and look at aggregate behavior, the pattern becomes difficult to ignore. So how do we explain it? One key difference lies in how morality is grounded. For many religious individuals, morality is rooted in obedience. It is about following rules, adhering to doctrines, and submitting to an external authority. For secular individuals, morality tends to be grounded differently. The guiding question is not what rule applies, but what reduces suffering and what promotes well-being. Compassion and empathy become the primary metrics. Interestingly, both religious and secular worldviews offer narratives about human connection. Religious traditions often describe humanity as one family under a divine parent. In principle, this should promote unity. The secular perspective, grounded in evolutionary biology, arrives at a similar conclusion through a different path. All humans share common ancestry. We are one species, connected not symbolically, but biologically. Yet these two narratives do not play out equally in practice. The religious framework, despite its language of unity, often correlates with stronger in-group and out-group distinctions, greater tribalism, and higher levels of exclusion. The secular framework, grounded in shared humanity, tends to correlate with broader inclusion, reduced tribal boundaries, and greater concern for the well-being of others, including those outside one's immediate group. The result is not theoretical. It manifests in real-world attitudes, policies, and behaviors, which leads to a conclusion that runs counter to a common assumption. Morality does not require religion. In many cases, it appears to function more consistently without it.